27 years of operations as a dump site, Olusosun in Ojota area of Lagos, southwest Nigeria, was abruptly shut down in March 2018 because of an inferno which not only affected the site but properties in the area. 7 months later, Olusosun is back in operations. Predictably, there are fears of recurrence of fire and air pollution. But there's the other side of the divide that lists the advantages of reopening of Olusosun. This episode of Big Story highlights both sides and the way forward. You're welcome. I'm Ini John Mekwa. Life is gradually returning to Olusosun, this time under the regulation of Lagos State Waste Management Authority (LOMA), after the State House of Assembly terminated the contracts of Visionscape Sanitation Solution and ordered private sector participant operators to resume waste collection across the state. Truck drivers are happier. Members of the task force who supervise orderliness have their jobs back, and waste collectors from household are more able to keep up with the demand of the over 13,000 tons of waste generated daily in the state. Since resumption of operations in October 2018, the site has daily accommodated about 400 trips, which is about 60% of the trips carried out by PSP waste operators in the state. Its location, Ojota, which is central in the metropolis, eases the job of the collectors and reduces the turnaround time for carting waste, which has plagued Lagosians in recent times.
When those trucks come, they don't just go to a particular front, it has to reduce the traffic. They have different platforms which we work with, and we prepare ahead. And we have our machineries in place. We have the bulldozers that we use in receiving the waste, the excavator, and we have the bulldozer and excavator we use in receiving the waste. And so that also, because we have different platforms, we are prepared ahead. That will help us to reduce the traffic on site. Now, what we are doing now, we can't have fire outbreak because we are trying to cap, and capping is ongoing. We've capped some parts which you are seeing, I've showed you earlier, and we are still capping. But the thing is that we can't cap during the rainy season. Today is a wet season, a wet day, and you can see the laterite because we cap with laterite. The site is at a technically base, and we use the laterite. And the good thing about capping is that when we cap, we also have space because we dig with the excavator. We also have the space to dump more refuse. But we can't do that in the rainy season. That's why we've alt capping for now. But throughout the dry season, we won't have any fire outbreak because we are capping. And also, we also use vegetation in capping as well. And that also is like being climate change compliant. It helps and prevents fire outbreak, and also for the odor control. This place we are standing in is waste base. It was capped. We was capping the surface of it to prevent the methane gas from emitting. And that is when we start having this methane gas emitting that we have this odor, and we have the odor and even the smoke and all that, because when it reacts with oxygen, it ignites. So, but we capping is prevent oxygen from reacting with the methane gas, which helps us to reduce all the reactions we're supposed to have. And with this now, it's making even the sector of the site is not improved because it prevents litters. When you cap, it prevents litters, because ordinarily when you just leave the waste without covering, everywhere will be littered. Prevent litter, improve the aesthetics of the site, prevent odor, it reduces the odor, and also prevent fire outbreak on site.
There's another set of individuals who are excited at the resumption of operation of Olusosun. They are those who make a living from what residents call waste. Every truck full of waste is a gold mine for them, and they come in various categories, about 4,000 members of them.
Make 3,000 naira a day, some can make 5,000 naira in a day. If someone want to join, then we tell the person our rule and regulation here. So you don't need to pay any money. If you want to join them, we tell you how to give all those truck chance. If you are seeing truck, you give them a chance. If they want to dump, allow the truck to dump before you pick. That is how you do.
trying to even encourage recycling, because this waste are coming to them on the landfill. Landfill should be an last option now, because there's so much, these materials, these are assets. That's why the scavengers are here trying to sort out. But apparently they only sorted about 10% of what comes to the site, because they don't have the luxury of the time. But once we encourage Lagosians to begin to sort their refuse from source, because when you sort your refuse, even in an advanced country, a child of 4 years knows that is not supposed to mingle the waste, supposed to have different bin bags and different recycling bins at homes to sort out this refuse. They'll begin to collect and take it directly to where it's being needed for recycling, so that all the commingled refuse coming to Lagos. One, it will save us cost, and also reduce the cost of buying these raw materials even from the manufacturing companies.
There are others who started here but have grown and branched out to other areas of related businesses.
I started as a scavenger, but since over 20-something years ago, since the commencement of this place, I've been a businessman. I'm a recycler. I own a recycling factory, and I get my material from this. This is my source. I started as a paper buyer and supplier, but now I'm a supplier of different kind of items. I'm a recyclist. I have a factory, and I'm also a transporter.
In spite of what seems like the return of good business for many residents, the regulating authority, LOMA, warns that they should not get too comfortable with operations in Olusosun because it will only last for about 30 months.
Olusosun is back to complete the cycle of a closure. You don't close a site abruptly. There are procedures in opening and there are procedures in closure. So whatever you see as Olusosun right now is a part of the closure plan. And you have to wind down. Olusosun was designed for 30 years when it was designed by Messrs. Lavalin Corporation of Canada in 1991. And there was a proper design for the site. And the site commenced operation in 1992, precisely November 19. And I think it was designed to last 30 years. And by 2022, to be exactly 30 years. But normally for a site of that nature, you start winding down about 3-4 years before the final closure. There are slopes, there are ways you close the site properly, because the activity will continue. Biodegradation will continue on that site for another 30 years, another 50 years, even after you left the place. There's going to be degradation, activity will be going on the ground. Some of them can lead to altering the eco balance in the area. There are going to be gaseous emissions, there are going to be leachates that will be produced, and there are going to be runoffs from that area, and there will be settlements of whatever you've deposited in that place. So you have to take into cognizance all these things that can happen, and the consequence, the liability for those things runs for another 50 years of whoever managed the site. So whatever they're in Olusosun, we have to close it properly. So dumping refuse there now is actually to do some slope stabilization. You're not going to import sand to come and do the slope stabilization. It's very expensive. So what you do is to use refuse properly to get the slope and get you'll have seen some channels, drainage channels on that site that are supposed to bring leachates into the leachate pond. We have to construct the leachate pond properly and manage it for years. So that's exactly what is going on to Olusosun. It looks like we are operating, yes, it's an operation, but it's part of the closure plan.
The residents and owners of the properties surrounding Olusosun, which covers Ojota, Oregun, and the other vicinities, are either unaware of the closure plan or not satisfied with the explanation, as they have used every accessible avenue to express their displeasure at the reopening of operations in Olusosun, and many of them say they have lived in the area long enough to know the consequences of the operations.
No, the water we have here, the borehole, we cannot drink. We cannot use it because it has been polluted from the rubbish from the waste. Then, if they keep on like that, during dry season, it will, I don't know whether you noticed from the express, smoke will be coming up. Smoke will be coming up. It has been like that during rainy season. All the stink will be coming up. We have been, managing it.
We appeal to the Lagos State government and all those who are concerned to please move this dump site from this place, because the dump site is already filled up. When they closed it last year, we are very happy because of the hazard, pollution, odor we perceive on daily basis. Some miscreants and so on and so forth, they've come back there. As even we are talking, you see them smoking in their hand. And all these things is not good in this area. This area is not where any dump site must be. So we are appealing to the government, all those who are concerned, to think about it very well and remove this dump site from this place. It has been there more than about 20-something years ago. It's filled already. The place can be used for other things.
Loma accepts the responsibility of enlightening the community on its plan and also asks for their cooperation.
I think the community there, when the place started about 27, 28 years ago, the design shows that there must be a buffer of 450 meters from the site, and that there must not be development 450 meters around the site. That was the plan, and I think I still have that design. And the environmental impact assessment that was carried out was to show that there shouldn't be development. But over years, there have been these infractions along the line. People got approval, some that got approval, they got approval against environmental concern. And some did not even have approval, they encroached on so the 450 meters have been encroached upon badly. And these are predictable impact. Whatever they see now, they are right there in the documents that, look, if you're staying within 450 meters to the site, you're going to have some adverse impact. All right, so, and there was a time we demolished houses around the area. All right, so, and it's left for government to take a decision on what to do. But yes, these people, they're human beings, and the government have a right to protect them, really, despite the fact that they encroach on the site. So we do engage them to tell them, look, this is what's going on. But I think that we've not really engaged them when we reopen the site for closure. And maybe that's why they have this apprehension. But I want to assure them that whatever they see right now is part of the closure plan. So they just need to endure for, I think, about 24 to 30 months. Well, after 30 months that we will have left the place, but I want to warn the community that activities on the site will go, activities such as bird degradation that I told you, even if we close the place and we're using it for other things, recreational activities, green park, material recovery facility, for whatever after use, even a golf course, whatever we will use the place for, all right, we still have to do regular periodic checks of environmental impact around the area. So the community, they have to be aware of what can happen. Landslides and the rest of it can happen. So they just have to be aware, and that we owe them that responsibility to teach them and keep them abreast of this thing that can happen. So even if government will leave the place in the next 30 months, government must still be responsible for the next 50 years.